further ado, we're going to go ahead and pull up. There's two videos. This one, Karen Reidel is the National Sales Director that got up at the end of Leadership Conference. I had never heard from her before. She must be in a different division, but she was the one that got up and was talking about all the changes since we went into Mary Kay, got into Mary Kay that Kelly shared after we got back. And she is one of the ones that kind of headed this whole Boss Babe series up. And she does an intro video, and then we get to hear from NSD Emeritus Lisa Madsen to start us out. So if you have your packets, get them out, and let's get started with the videos.
Hello and welcome to Boss Babe 2026. I'm National Sales Director Karen Reidel, and I could not be more excited to personally welcome you to this great new series. This year, it's all about it's time. It's time for you to go after that dream that God has placed in your heart and make it happen. It's time. It's your year. And that's what you're going to be learning all about over the next 6 weeks. You're going to be learning from our incredible lineup of Boss Babe National Sales Director speakers like Senior National Sales Director Emeritus Lisa Madsen, Senior National Sales Director Dave Ann Mall, and National Sales Directors Kristen Sharp, Julia Mundy Garner, Lakeisha Chisholm, and Brittany Jenks. Come on, you guys. What an incredible lineup. I cannot wait for you to learn. I've watched every one of their videos and they are so good. So you're going to want to make sure that you first off print out your Boss Babe packet and have it at every week's meeting so that you can capture all of the juicy takeaways, strategies, ideas, mindset that you hear these brilliant teachers share with you. You're going to love learning from them. So don't miss a week. Now, your packet has lots of great information in it and some of the things you can take action on right now before you even jump in to our first week and our first speaker. And so I'm going to ask you to make sure you print out your packet and then take a look through it. It's going to walk you through figuring out what is your it's time goal or dream. Get clear on what that is. And then there's a self-reflection page right after that that walks you through why is now the time for you to do it. And then also what are all the things that will shift and change when you step into making that dream happen. You see, we can't get into action unless we're really clear on why now is the time and everything that will change. So I want you to take that quiet time to really get clear on why right now is your time. Well, there's also a bunch of it's time scriptures that all have to do with timing and obedience and moving into action. You're going to love those scriptures. And I encourage you to take some time studying those scriptures and looking them up other translations so you really capture the meaning of what God is saying. Then there's even a page of it's time affirmations. You could pick out a couple that maybe are your favorites that you speak out over your life and your dream and your goal every single day. And this year, I added a new segment because as you start thinking about what it's time to do in your business, I bet you're going to think of some things that it's time to do in every area of your life, like health, finances, your faith, your family. There's going to be so many things that you think of like, I need to start doing that. I need to take action on this. So I took this idea from National Sales Director Jamie Taylor with a big bunch of squares. And I just want you to write in each square some of the things it's time for you to start doing. Some of the things it's time to make happen in this new year. You can post that above your laptop or maybe on your bathroom mirror or tuck it into your date book so that you see that list every single day. And then, yes, it's back, our Kit and Commit Challenge. Wow, we had such a great response when we kicked it off in the fall that we're bringing it back across the entire Mary Kay world, not just in the US, but everywhere. We're inviting you to Kit and Commit and to get that starter kit ready to go and get into action by booking 8 parties to hold 5 in a 2-week time period. Everything will shift and change when you do that. And we have an incredible special celebration Zoom that you'll be invited to when you do one Kit and Commit Perfect Start. You'll be learning from Senior National Sales Director Pam Shaw and National Sales Director Linda Tupin, both from our Emeriti Nationals. Oh my gosh, you cannot miss that. And there will be super special recognition for you when you do more than one. Oh, so I am challenging you to get into action now. It's time. It's your time. This is your year. So thank you for saying yes to Boss Babe. Again, don't miss a week. You don't want to miss any of these phenomenal teachers and the stories that they will share of their career and when it was time for them to step up and get into action to get that dream happening. I'm so excited that you're a part of this. Happy New Year. Let's go have a great time learning from our Boss Babe teachers and getting into action because it's time.
This is Senior National Sales Director Emeritus. Wow, still surreal to say. Lisa Madsen is my name. I'm recording this in December, but by the time you hear this,
Three simple
I will
fixes that
officially
make
be
people
retired.
listen to you
And I have to
instantly.
tell you, I
Your
never
message falls-
thought this day would really come. I signed up at 26 years old, and now I'm 65 and a half. I grew up in this business, you guys. Mary Kay shaped my entire life. So when I think about this, It's Time series, I smile because I know that those words really mean it's time. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop wondering. It's time to stop procrastinating. It's time to take action on the dream in your heart. And my story is proof that the moment you decide it's time, everything changes. When I look back on my journey, one thing stands out. I got into action immediately. On day one, the day I signed my independent beauty consultant agreement, my sales director told me to get 5 bookings. So I got 5 bookings. Then she said, get 8. So I got 8. Then she said, get 12. So I got 12. Then she said, that's awesome. Now get 15. And I remember looking at her like, are you kidding me? I only have 2 sisters and I already made one of them book 2. But here's the truth. Action creates confidence. Action builds courage. Action produces results. And from those 12 bookings, because I learned how to get my bookings from my bookings, I held 102 parties my very first year. Not because I was good. It's because I was consistent. And that consistency gave me confidence. The 5 things I did consistently are number 1, I booked. Number 2, I coached. Number 3, I sold. Number 4, I rebooked. And number 5, I team built. Every party, every week, every month. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't complicated. It was simply consistent. In November of 1987, just 1 year after I began my career, I earned the use of my first Mary Kay career car. And then something interesting happened. I stopped recruiting. I didn't have a new goal. And I started thinking. I started analyzing. I didn't want to bother anyone. I didn't fully understand the big picture of what Mary Kay could do for someone else. I was more worried about what people thought of me than what this opportunity could mean for them. My sales director stepped in and said something that changed the entire trajectory of my life. She said, Lisa, you need a new goal. She told me I needed to become a sales director. I had every excuse ready to go. I can't. I'm pregnant. I'm due in March. This was January. It's not good timing. I'm not ready. But she knew. She knew if I didn't get into motion again, I would go backward instead of forward. So I submitted my letter in January to become a sales director. January, February, March. The baby was due in March. Terrible timing? Absolutely. But timing doesn't create success. Action does. And because I worked full circle, booking, coaching, selling, rebooking, and team building, I became a sales director on May 1st. Was it easy? There'd be a no. I had a problematic pregnancy and was on bed rest the last 2 weeks before my son was born. Since I got all my parties from my parties and my bookings from my bookings and my team members from my parties, it really slowed me down. But I didn't give up. My phone worked and so did my mouth. So I called people. I had Kyle on a Saturday, and I was back at my Monday night meeting 9 days later with guests. We finished on May 1st. So baby Kyle went to a lot of interviews with me, and he helped me to team build because they thought it was pretty cool that I could do this with my baby. Fast forward 10 months. It's January 1989. I remembered something important. The January before, I had 10 parties on my books when I went into DIQ, and I knew that's why I moved so fast. So I told my new unit of 10 months to get 10 parties on their books for the month of January. And to help them do that, I even suggested that they offer a hostess special. 10% off for the entire year of 1989 if she would hold a party and bring some friends. Ladies, it worked. My date book filled. My team's date book filled. And momentum exploded. And because of that explosive January, my brand new unit, only 10 months old, became the number 4 unit in the Ruby seminar. People looking at the Applause magazine were thinking, who is Lisa Madsen? I've never heard of her. That's what happens when you combine urgency, bookings, consistency, and a clear January strategy. Some of you might think, well, I don't want to give away 10% off for the year. Ladies, listen. If she buys $200 from you all year long, that's $20 in free product. If she buys $1,000 all year long, she saves $100 retail.
Say it again.
Bundle and save on insurance. Libbity bibbity.
Swoon.
Swoon.
It's not that much. And you can adjust the percentage if you want to, but you need new people. You need to meet new people. So if you get a hostess to hold the party and bring people, that will help you to do that. You get new customers because you offered a discount. You get new bookings because you offered a discount, and you get new team members. And team members equal commissions. Commissions equal growth, and growth equals choices. You can even do it if you want 15% off for the first 15 days of January and 10% off for the last 16 days. Create the urgency. Create the urgency. Kit and commit. Some of you have heard this. Booking 8 parties in a 2-week period. This kit and commit challenge ties beautifully into the strategy of what I'm talking about right now. Some of the national sales directors were at a national sales director meeting, and I want to just shout out to Kim McClure, Heidi Gelzer, Kristen Sharp, Brittany Jenks, and Julia Monday Garner. They are the ones that came up with Kit and Commit. Consultants were booking 8 parties in a 2-week period to hold by December 15th. It's really the old perfect start that Mary Kay Ash taught us. What's old is new. So I'm challenging you to book a minimum of 8 parties in a 2-week period. And if you want explosive growth, go ahead and book 10 or even 12. But don't just write the goal. Put a highlighter block around the specific times in your calendar that you can hold the parties, create the space, and then fill the space. And when those parties hold early in the month, rebook for the second half of January. You will amaze yourself. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Let's talk about fear. I had fear every step of the way. Fear of getting the first 5 bookings. Fear of asking the bookings from bookings. Fear of doing my first parties. Fear of becoming a sales director while pregnant. Fear of stretching into every new level that I achieved on the career path. But here's what I learned. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward, even with the fear. If I had waited to feel brave, I would still be sitting there with my unopened inventory covered in hives, because that's what happened when my inventory arrived when I was a brand new consultant. I would have been sitting there wondering if I could succeed. You build courage by doing the things you're afraid of. This is your it's time moment. If I could go from a nervous, insecure 26-year-old hoping to make $70 a week to lead a world-class national area to retiring with over 17 millions in commissions throughout my 39-year journey, then what's possible for you? Your miracle year doesn't start with certainty. It starts with a decision. It's time. It's time to believe. It's time to move. It's time to say yes. It's time to go for it. It's time to book the parties. It's time to take the action. It's time to step into the dream God placed in your heart. You are one decision away from a completely different year and maybe even a completely different life. Don't wait for courage. Don't wait for perfect. Just decide, because God already equipped you. Now it's time to move. It's time. May God bless you. May God bless every effort you make. And may He multiply your courage, your joy, and your results. Dream big, work hard, and enjoy every moment of your journey, because 2026, it's your time. Thank you.
Love it. She did our director's Boss Babe call, and it was like a little bit of a different message, but kind of a similar thing. And one of the things that Lisa has always kind of hung her hat on, she said, I'm not special, I'm not smarter, I'm not, anything special, is what she would always say. I just was consistent. And obviously she had courage. What are some of your guys' takeaways? In the packet, it asked you on the first week, your takeaways, your notes about her story, and what was it time for her to do, and how did she get into immediate action, and basically your takeaways and how this inspired you. But like one of the things that I remember from the director's one is she said, I'm now on Medicare. She's like, how did that happen in 39 years? She goes, it went like that. And so I love the message of get a sense of urgency. And it's about creating a sense of urgency and making a decision that the time is right. So create the urgency. What are your takeaways? She's my inspiration this year. That's from Kelly Dart. Anybody else? What did you take from that? I'll kind of pop in. I remember her telling this story because we were in the same seminar division. Arlene Lenars told her to get, 8 and then 10 and then 12 and then 15. And she was getting a little bit of an attitude about it. But, the fact that she did that created momentum from her. And, when we talked about, Kristen Sharp did a lot more parties than that when she decided to go for national. Lisa Madsen did an average of 2 a week, you guys, 2 a week, and built within 10 months as a sales director, one of the top 5 units in her seminar division. 2 parties a week. And everything does start from that. Let's see, Heidi, I absolutely love everything she said. It really is just simple. We have to stop making it bigger. Our heads get in our own way. So true. And it was kind of a joke. Robert Jones was the makeup artist that worked with Mary Kay back in the day, and he did a lot of the top people, including Pam and Lisa. And he would always say, you guys, in his way, he had this extra flair. He would say, if Lisa Madsen could create an entire national area on one look, and then he went through the looks, which is basically 2 eyeshadows, a cheek and a lip color. He said, anyone can do this. And you guys, that 17 million, that was just her commissions paid by Mary Kay. That does not include her retirement. And so what they do on that for 15 years from the time right now, she's 65 till she's 80, she and or her family, if something were to happen to her, they call this the Family Security Program, they would be paid, I would venture to say, between $500,000 to $750,000 a year, 500 to 750, because they take your best 3 out of your last 5 years in income as a national, and they pay you 60% of that for 15 years. So in addition to $17 million for the next 15 years, I haven't really even done the math on that, but it's going to be another probably $7 or $8 million that she makes. Just saying. So, and she would always tell her story about, she was just wearing a smock that said somebody else's name at it on the farm store, you know, and she just wanted a little extra Christmas money. And so we all have a different story, but Lisa Madsen has been the record breaker trendsetter for many years. Her and Gloria kind of went head to head competitively on commissions and Offspring and all of that. So let's see, from Kelly, in her director video, she talked about the follow-up, and her daughter talked about what, her daughter Rachel talked about what it was like growing up in her house. She cooked a home-cooked meal on Thursdays every week without fail, and literally called every person from the week before that she met at the meeting. And it was mind-blowing. It took her from the $400,000 unit club to the $1 million unit club in 1 year. That was her big pivot, is that, and she said, of course, you have to have guests at your meetings, but that was when they did everything in person, which we're going back to soon. And she just followed up on every single guest, which is why we have them fill out those Ponder Peak forms, and is so that we can follow up and find out what they liked, what would they change. And many great suggestions led to a better unit meeting from that. So I would definitely commit to that. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Heidi. What else? What were your takeaways? Anyone else want to share? Looking in the chat box.
Okay, I'm going to try and share, and hopefully it doesn't get too loud with my toddler running around.
Okay.
I absolutely loved that she shared that you are just one step away from a different year. And in my notes, I also put one step away from a different life, like one decision away, one step away. And it's so crazy inspiring to hear how much she did in such a small amount of time, just from a decision, and that she might have gotten a little bit of an attitude about it, but she didn't question it. She just did it.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to what Heidi said, like, we make it more complicated than what it actually is. And we really, especially now, have all of the tools at our fingertips. We just need to make the decision and do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. I was taking some notes too, like action creates confidence. You know, Mary Kay always said, action also breeds motivation. You know, you don't wait until you get motivated. I mean, get yourself into a feel-good place, have positive expectancy, think about the desired outcome. I always say begin with the end in mind of like what you would like to accomplish, instead of thinking a negative thought before you pick up the phone to book. Have positive expectancy without attachment, because then we make it personal and we get emotional about it. But again, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. So, you know, follow up, action, encourage, that brings confidence. And that's why getting those 15 bookings, that set up a really great foundation from her. And, you know, she was always one that talked about, she doesn't really do fairs. She didn't warm chatter. She really was she didn't warm chatter. She just learned how to book 2 parties from every party. So that's something we've talked a lot about, maybe including in some training. And I talk about this story all the time, because when I was earning my car and directorship, I really did it off maybe 2 or 3 hostesses who I remember very well. And I got really good at booking from those parties and recruiting those people, and book, coach, sell, and then rebook, and then team build. And so it's really simple. And, you know, Kristen talked about this when we wrote leadership or maybe it was on one of the calls prior to leadership, about how this whole idea of Get to Commit, it's like really going back to basics. It's our original perfect start, which is book 8 to hold 5. That was what every new consultant was told to do, is to watch your recruiter do a party, and then, you know, watch a video of somebody doing a party, then go do a party, and book 8 to hold 5 in those 2 weeks. And then you get good enough, you're not rusty in between. You know what tweaks to make. You kind of know how to pack for a party. You know what kind of hostess rewards program you want to do, closing sheets, all of that kind of thing. And then you just run with what excites you and what motivates you. So it's keep it simple, sweetie. That's always talked about in Mary Kay. We sometimes do get a little complicated. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to read. If you think of anything else, just put your hand up or put it in the chat. But we've been talking a lot about why this time of year is so significant is because this is basically an alignment that hasn't, I'm going to put some glasses on, hasn't happened for 60 years. And, you know, everything is patterns, and everything in the world and in our lives is cyclical. So this just talks about February 17th. It's basically the Chinese New Year today. This lunar year marks the beginning of a year of the fire horse, which is a rare, high energy, 60-year cycle event symbolizing intense and fast-paced and transformative energy and change. It brings bold, charismatic, and fiercely independent energy, favoring innovation and swift action, though it may also cause impulsivity, impatience, and also a little bit of upheaval. So if you're already experiencing that, you know, what I suggest, and I've been kind of thinking about this a lot leading up to today, what are the patterns? What are the things, the people, the time wasters in my life that I really don't feel like I want to take into the next 9-year cycle? And so a little bit of the symbolism of this timeline that we're in is fire horse represents power, freedom, and extreme, often passion, even chaotic passion. It's a time for bold, decisive action, not waiting. That's why I thought this Boss Babe series on its time is so perfect. Impact. The combination of the fire and horse brings intense energy, accelerating career, travel, and personal growth. However, it may increase global tension, heated relationships, and require careful and wise leadership. Advice. This year favors those who take risks but require mindfulness, strong boundaries, and careful management of emotions to avoid burnout or rash decisions. That's just one little thing. People have been texting me stuff all day about this, but to me, you know, it's whatever we assign to it is what it's going to be for us. And so take some time, if you haven't done so yet, tonight, and really look at your life and look at what have been the time wasters, what have been the patterns, what have been the things that you really don't want to take into this next 9 to 12 year cycle. Hunter and I are both horses. He's turning 24 and I'm turning 48. It's our year. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is time. And it's time for it's a good year for everybody, no matter kind of where you were born. But just kind of a little aside, once again, really take some time to think about, you know, what do I want to manifest, and understand things are going to go really fast. Think about 2025, how fast it went. This, you know, the last year was a year of the snake, the shedding, the letting go, all of that. But really and truly, last year didn't end until yesterday, because today is the new year, new beginnings. Whenever we go into a universal 1 year, which is 2026, it's about new beginnings. So what do you want to bring into your future? What do you want to create? You know, what do you want to be known for? What do you want your legacy to be? I know it sounds like it's so far in the future, but that starts right now with how you're showing up in the world, with your family, with your friends, with your career. And let's just get excited. This is just something that's going to assist us in very, very swift movement and change. And things can happen very quickly. So just get excited about the shifts that are coming, and know that everything is happening for you, not to you. So if you feel like, why do these things keep happening? Take a look at it and go, okay, what is it trying to show me? What am I trying to learn? What is my body trying to tell me? I always listen to my body because I'm an empath, which a lot of you are. Body will kind of get your attention when things are not in balance. And so, you know, I'm really, really working on not necessarily discipline, but getting into habits of how I want my day to go and planning it out ahead of time. It's not always perfect, but how do I set that up? What's the ideal day for me? You know, getting up, praying and meditating, doing some kind of a workout, doing a lot of my personal business, starting my appointments, you know, and just scheduling everything. Schedule the things. If you put the things on your schedule, you'll get it done. I was doing a call with a gal earlier, and she's like, well, and I don't even know how to get to the club, and I don't even know, we just moved, and like, how do I do my training for this new job, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like Mary Kay said, you know, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So it's about making small little shifts that are going to be for the good of the whole. But it really does start with you. And because we're all women here, I just want to remind you to operate in self-care and get to a feel-good place. What's going to make you feel better? Because what makes you feel better puts you in alignment. And one of the fastest ways to get into alignment is to find gratitude in what's showing up in your life. And if it's something that's recurring, it's probably trying to show you something. So anyway, I'm getting a little bit rambly, but I just really wanted to put that out there. And time for reflection. You guys, I did talk to my agent today. I'm signing the lease. We have a new space as of May 1st. Well, I'm going to need a little bit of time to get into it, but exciting things are already happening leading into this new year. We have so much to look forward to. And we don't have to wait till then. All right. We've got some great things. And then we did talk about, you guys, we don't have a flyer, but we talked about this, Kelly and I, and about doing a brunch. We wanted to get one more event in. So I forgot to get this in the announcements. I forgot to tell Heidi, but March 14th, which is a Saturday, we want to do a spa brunch because we want to, at least even leading up to getting into the new space, incorporate at least a couple of in-person guest type things, even if it's not just on Tuesday each month. So March 14th, Saturday, March 14th, we're looking to do kind of a spa brunch like we did at Kiln last time from 11 o'clock to 1, where your clients will be treated to a variety of different products, and we'll do giveaways. We'll do a little marketing like we always do, but just a fun time in the spring together. So mark your calendar for March 14th and look forward to inviting people to experience more of the products. And of course, we'll work at Full Circle. And in the meantime, let your director know if you are in for the kit to commit so she can track with you, okay? And have a wonderful, fantastic week. Did we have any more comments? Yes. Training Center in Boise. It's going to be amazing. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful, fantastic week. Good night, everybody.
Night. Thank you.
Good night. Congratulations
Hi,
to everybody.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Get feeling better, everybody.